Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/best of for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, "Satan is not a pogo stick." The original OP is, "I am Neato." Posted to r/pets December 18th, 2023. So, I stole a cat. My neighbors moved here in the summer and have been leaving their cat outside. I don't like this, but the cat was okay. Cut to now, December, and it was below freezing, and the cat was still outside. I caught it drinking out of a dirty puddle. Long story short, I scooped the cat, but am worried because I know which neighbors it is, and I had previously asked them if it was their cat. They don't know I'm their next door neighbor though, because I left a note on their door with instructions to text me. I'm still worried because what if they come after me, or what if they really like that cat? What if it's chipped and the Humane Society calls the owners? I just want this buddy to be safe. Update, for those who are still tuned in, I texted the owners the following morning. I still haven't heard anything, so me and my cat buddy are chilling. It actually laid with me on the couch last night and my heart melted. I would show if I knew how to upload images. Update 2. I still haven't heard from the owners. The cat is really enjoying being a house cat. Here's my little buddy. Cat tax. Oh, that's such a cute cat. For those of you who are audio only, on screen that is shown is a gray and white American long hair cat. I think that's what the breed is. I don't know. With yellow eyes and a pink nose. It is very adorable. Relevant comments. Juancho Pancho 51. What I suggest is, instead of taking it in, since it's an outdoor cat, just leave fresh water and good food for it outside close to your home. Eventually, it'll just migrate to you, and it'll feel safer and more cared for by your place. The cat more than likely enjoys being outdoors, but give it the choice to come in. Move the food and water closer and closer to your door, pet it if it lets you, and get to know it, and be its friend. Leave your door cracked open for when it's eating, and see if it's interested in being warm. Worm. God damn it. The cat will choose its way. I admire your ability to empathize. Not many people care about animals the way I do, and it's nice to see another person's concern. Opie responds, I have done this, and it definitely comes running when it sees me outside, but when I saw it outside today, it was shivering and crouched up close to a wall. I was worried we were going to wake up in the morning and it was going to be dead. It's really tough. Their next door neighbor claims that they've never seen it get taken inside, but it's friendly enough where I'm not so sure. On one hand, I don't want this buddy to die, but on the other hand, I don't want to take someone's pet from them. User Hog Literature comments, these kinds of owners frustrate me so much. If you want something you can pet and not have to take care of, get a pet rock. Don't force a cat to live outside. Oh, but they love it outside. Yeah, kids love ice cream. But they don't get unrestricted access to the ice cream shop's freezer for 12 to 24 hours a day. Maybe you can try being a pet parent and actually take care of your cat. And take them out on walks to supervise their outside time. Opie responds, this is the best explanation on why cats want to go outside all the time. We have to put special fake sand for them to poop in. They're not smart enough to understand that outside is dangerous. Update, January 2nd, 2024, 15 days later. Some of you remember I took my neighbor's cat in out of the cold and was debating what I should do. There have been developments. The next morning I texted them and told them I took their cat in out of the cold. I did not receive a response for 5 days. Cut to Christmas Eve. Cat throws up a lot and threw up the day before. I see some pink in its throw up and realize I have to take it to the emergency vet. I'm stressed and let it slip it's not my cat. I then have to eat crow and ask the owner's permission to treat the cat and I'll pay for it. They got mad. I cry. Cat's fine and probably isn't adjusting well to the new, real food. I return the cat under their request, preserving every aspect of my identity in the process. Also, had to Google having to eat crow. Turns out you're just admitting that you're wrong. It's a new phrase to add to my list of things to throw in and eventually bastardize. Another week goes by. I get told by my other neighbor 2 things. 1. They left it on their non-climate controlled patio the entire time. Luckily, it was high 40-degree Fahrenheit for the week. 2. The first day it's below freezing, New Year's Eve, they let it back out in the cold. I get word from my neighbor that the cat sounds like it's in heat, and 3 cats are having a mating party under her deck. I went back out there with my carrier, and she ran right up to me, and I picked her up and put her in the cage. She's now back in my house. I gave them a shot, but otherwise our neighbors will be overrun with cats out in the freezing cold. Relevant comments. The John MC 963. Ask the owner's permission to treat the cat? Yikes. Hope he responds. Yeah, I had to. I had loose lips because I was stressed. The vet likely would not have helped the cat unless I got the owner's permission, so I had to ask them for it. Stress makes the brain bad. Relevant comments. User Middle Earth. It isn't a stray. OP admits she stole it. Whichever way you look at it, OP is a thief. OP responds, not a thief. A cute thief. Middle Earth responds, a narcissistic thief then. OP responds further, narcissistic and... New updates. Update 2, January 22nd, 2024. 20 days after the first update. Hello there, folks. Here we are again, huh? So, I followed all the rules of where I live and submitted a report to animal control that I found a stray. The proper amount of time lapsed and no word from the owners. So, by all accounts, that makes me the owner, according to animal control. In fact, the cat was on the online bulletin board 3 times the amount of time it was supposed to be. And still, nothing. Cut to today, found out the cat is pregnant. Likely will get a pregnant spay as there is nowhere to rehome the kittens, and I cannot provide support to my cat during this process as I have a trip coming up. 2 days ago, the owners threatened to call the cops, and they discovered my name somehow, so I am no longer anonymous. I will not communicate with them. Let the cops come. I have followed proper procedure, and at this point, I think the previous owners just found a stray they liked and was feeding it. That's not ownership. Still nervous about it though. No matter how confident you feel before, when the cops come knocking, it's never pleasant. I'll let you know how that goes if it wasn't an empty threat. Final update. February 13th, 2024, 22 days after the second update. Hello for the last time. I got Tot a pregnant spay, as I got some good guidance from my loved ones. Tot came home with me and wore her silly little shirt. Photo provided. For 2 weeks, so she wouldn't pick at her stitches. In that 2 weeks, she discovered, under the cover, another photo of the cat underneath the covers, and likes to sleep there with me. She got her shirt off and can roam free now. I have heard nothing from the people that claim to own her since they threatened me with the cops. At this point, I think we're in the clear, and I just have a new cat. She's very sweet, and we are best friends. Eventually, I think I may leash train her and take her on walks around her former domain. Thanks y'all for following. Have an excellent day. You may now close your tab. Finn. Another photo of the cat. Did OP steal a cat in a legal way? Yes. Is this acceptable? Also, yes. Although at this point, is it really stealing or is it more of a rescue? I think if an owner doesn't realize their outdoor cat is missing within the first day, let alone the first month, they're not a good owner. And the cat finding a new home is probably the best course of action here. This post was collected by Indirect Slug 666. Actually, would a slug be the antithesis to a caterpillar? Because I don't think a butterfly would be the antithesis because it's just the next general progression. Anyways, it's actually Direct Caterpillar 77. Shocker. Their tagline is, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Adventurous Leg 879. Posted to r/relationship advice October 29th, 2021. My, 26 female, boyfriend, 29 male, lied about not getting a +1 to a wedding. Hi everyone. For some basic background information, my boyfriend Jason and I have been dating for 4 years and live together. Overall, we have a really good relationship. We love spending time together, share similar values, and have wonderful chemistry. Jason works at a fairly big company. Within the company, he works on a smallish team, about 10 people. On his team is a guy named Matt, 30-ish male, who he is work friends with. They don't hang out that much outside of work, but We'll occasionally get dinner or drinks together. A few weeks ago, he attended Matt's wedding. Jason didn't invite me, but I just assumed he did not get a +1 because he and Matt aren't super close. I've met Matt 5 times before, so I didn't think anything of it. Fast forward to Wednesday after work. I ran into Matt at a local coffee shop. I said hello and congratulated him on his marriage. He thanked me and said something along the lines of, "It's a shame you couldn't make it to the wedding." I was pretty confused, but just went along with it and said that I was sorry I missed it and was sure it was fun. When I got home, I asked Jason why he didn't invite me to the wedding. I tried to be as calm and non-accusatory as possible. He replied that he didn't get a +1, so he couldn't invite me. Then I told him what Matt said. And after some back and forth, Jason confessed that he did get a +1. I asked why he didn't invite me, and he wouldn't tell me. I kept asking, and he kept refusing. It was extremely frustrating. Don't get me wrong, I don't care that I missed the wedding. That's not the problem. He lied to me, and is now refusing to tell me why. The past 2 nights I slept in our guest/hobby room. The first place my mind went to was infidelity, but he was at a colleague's wedding. I've met all of his coworkers at work events. So would he really cheat on me in front of people we both know and that he has to work with? He didn't stay out late either, got home at 10 p.m., so it's not like he's shacked up with someone after the wedding. I seriously cannot come up with any reason he lied and won't tell me. It's driving me crazy. I'm stumped on what to do. I don't want to dump him over something this small, but I legitimately don't know what to do to get him to tell me. I feel like my trust is broken over something so stupid. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend, 29 male, lied about not getting a +1 to the wedding and now won't tell me, 26 female, why he lied. Okay, so because I'm a bit of a gossip girl right now, here's my tinfoil hat theories for what's going on before we actually read the next parts of it, because I don't know what's gonna happen, and you don't know what's gonna happen. Probably. So, I have 2 theories. First one is, he did actually cheat, and he was looking for someone to hook up, and he did. And Matt, wanting OP to know but not wanting to stir the pot, was like, "Oh, damn, shame you couldn't make it to the wedding," as in, letting her know that something's going on so she begins asking questions. Or the more realistic one is that the boyfriend is actually just embarrassed of the girlfriend and didn't want to bring her. Yeah, she's met the coworkers, but not for an extended period of time. So he's trying to minimize that and just said she couldn't make it so that way, he wouldn't have to be embarrassed by her. That one fits the bill with all the information that we have right now. But let's find out. Top comments! Self-inflicted comments. It's hard to pick up women at a wedding. Having your girlfriend there makes it even harder. The lying and not even telling you what he was thinking is really the problem. User Healing Time Now comments, "People cheat with coworkers all the time, where everyone knows except the poor wife. It absolutely happens. Your guy either wanted to appear single or he was ashamed of you for some reason. Sorry for being blunt, but I have a feeling I'm only saying what you're already thinking. No matter what, your partner didn't want you there. I think you know what this means." Update, January 30th, 2022, 3 months later. So, it's been months since the original conflict with Jason, and I finally just yesterday got an answer about what was going on. After our initial argument, I kept living with Jason for another month. It was honestly awful. There was always this weird tension between us, and it felt like we were roommates who didn't even really like each other. We went from a happy, loving couple to people who just cohabitated awkwardly together so quickly. And he was willing to accept this just to keep some secret. It hurts so badly. After that awful month, I told him that if he didn't tell me his reason behind lying about the +1, then I was going to break up with him and move out. He begged me not to end it. I begged him to tell me. Neither of us would give up, so I ended it and moved back out into my parents' house. Since then, I have been dealing with heartbreak and have been in a really bad place mentally. I'm still currently living with my parents, even though I said I would find my own place at the start of the year. Around a week ago, I received a text from my good friend telling me she thinks she knows why he lied. She sent me a picture of Jason's Instagram. It was a picture of him holding a woman romantically. Not only that, but I recognized the woman as one of Jason's coworkers. After this, I called my friend who sent the picture and cried and cried and cried. I've never felt more emotionally exhausted. Yesterday, I did something a little dumb. I texted Jason and asked him if he cheated, and he decided to be honest this time. He told me that he hadn't physically cheated, but he and this woman had basically been having an emotional affair for months prior. I guess he didn't invite me to the wedding because he didn't want his real girlfriend and his work girlfriend to meet. I finally got my answer, but I wish I hadn't. He was willing to ruin our relationship over some work relationship. I doubt he even cared that I left him, considering he had a backup girlfriend to turn to. You guys were right, but I wish you weren't. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend at the time was having an emotional affair with his coworker, and I just found out months after our breakup. Relevant comments. Deleted user. Just so you know, he physically cheated too. He's still lying, because that's who he is. This sucks, but you'll be okay soon, and much better off without this jerk in your life. Opie responds, yeah, he probably did. At this point, it doesn't even change much, though. I know that it's good in the long run that he's out of my life, but it feels like I wasted 4 years on him. I know I need to focus on myself and not my past relationships, although it's hard. User M Fruitfly comments, I'm so sorry. And while the answer doesn't change much, it gives you a very clear answer that yes, you did the right thing by leaving. You didn't overreact. You weren't wrong. No, this wasn't something you could work through. You were right to leave. Now, just feel your feelings. You didn't waste your life. You had a relationship that was great. And when it wasn't great anymore, you left. You will get back on track, and you will find new paths and friendships and relationships and success. More in the relationship. Don't beat yourself up about it. And then pick up the pieces a bit at a time. Remember that you did nothing wrong, and you were strong by leaving when it wasn't working anymore. Where so many people stay unhappy. You chose to rip off the band-aid, face the pain of ending the relationship now, and that now you can build a better, happier life. Opie responds, this actually helps a lot. I guess I was just seeing the proof of him cheating as, I don't know, proof that the relationship was a waste of time or that I was being dumb/ignorant. In reality, it was a good thing that I found out in the long run. Now I won't have that dumb, what if I made a mistake? I miss him. He was the one that got away. Thought process in the future. It's for sure really, really hard right now, especially knowing that he has moved on to his coworker while I'm alone, feeling like this. I've been through breakups before, but never to a 4-year relationship. It's in some ways a new experience, this breakup. I know it will get better, but I just wish it came faster. I appreciate your input a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm 100% on board with my first theory of Matt trying to warn her that something else was going on. I was definitely kind of expecting with everything that was presented that this would be something along the lines of him actually just being embarrassed of her as a person and not wanting her around his friends and whatnot. And that would have been definitely an interesting conversation to have as part of the tangent. Long story short, y'all remember that one story we had a little bit ago of the guy's girlfriend who liked to sit down and save the worms and whatnot? Worm. And she was just kind of a pure delight to be around, and he was like, gosh, you're so embarrassing. And his friends thought she was great, and she ended up leaving him because he was just kind of an asshole. And basically, don't be with someone who's ashamed to be around you for just simply being yourself. Unless, of course, yourself is like a racist or something. Well, I mean, honestly, then it speaks to his character that he would date a racist. But, okay, we're just kind of walking into a massive minefield of potential tangents and what ifs, and we're just gonna leave it at as long as you are not a destructive person, you shouldn't be with someone who finds you to be embarrassing. But that is not the tangent we're having. We're having a tangent about how much Jason fucking sucks. Jason, more like Jerkson. Got him. I actually am kind of sad my first theory was correct, because that was kind of a bit of a Hail Mary, and I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. Also, I am actually starting to drive myself a bit mad with how much the worm keeps popping up, and I I don't know why. It's just a current vocal stim, and I can't stop it. The sad part is one of these days I'm gonna say worm for the last time, and we won't know that it's the last time. Oh, that actually just reminds me that there's that one saying or that one kind of idea of a parent will pick their child up and put them down without realizing that it was the last time they would do that. Have fun with those sad thoughts. I'm sorry. This post was collected by Gardengio. The original OP is Just Being Honest 4, posted to r/mytheasshole. The status of this post is mystery solved. Originally posted December 24th, 2022. The Tale of the Mysterious Great Aunt Stephanie. The original title was, Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that no one in our family is named Stephanie? I can't figure out if I did anything wrong, or if so, what, because I honestly have no idea what's going on. Hopefully someone here can give me a clue. Here's the relative info as far as I know. My brother and his wife are expecting their first girl after 2 boys. I love Ricky and Jace, and so does my sister-in-law, and she has always wanted a girl, and is very excited to be having one. She also wants to name the girl Chloe, as she loves that name. My brother hates the name Chloe, and really wants to name their daughter Stephanie. They have been arguing about it for a few weeks, since finding out the gender. I got to my parents' house late last night, and my sister-in-law was the only person still awake. We talked for a little bit, and she asked me the weirdest question. She asked me if I knew any stories about Great Aunt Stephanie. I was so confused, I literally said, "Who?" Sister-in-law clarified that she was talking about our grandmother's older sister that died when Grandma was a little girl. Our grandma had 2 sisters, but their names were Judy and Lynn. There's no one in our family named Stephanie as far as I know. I told as much to my sister-in-law. She changed the subject after that, and we soon went to bed. This morning, my brother and his wife were both sulking during breakfast. Even the kids could tell. Ricky kept saying, "Stop being grumpy on Christmas!" So it wasn't just my imagination. I got my brother alone and confronted him. He snapped at me for meddling and told me to stay out of his marriage. My brother is pissed at me, and my sister-in-law won't even talk to me. I'm afraid to say anything to my parents and drag them into this, especially since I still don't know what this is. Either my grandmother had a secret sister that I don't know about, but my brother does for some reason, or my brother lied to his wife to convince her to name their baby Stephanie. Both options seem equally weird to me. Maybe there's a third possibility I'm not seeing. Reddit, am I the asshole? If so, please explain to me why. I don't want to be the reason Christmas is ruined. Jace, Jason, Stephanie, Ricky, Richard, Dick. No, it can't be. Comments. Commenter 1. Yeah, not the asshole. It's very weird that your sister-in-law is not talking to you. It does sound like your brother was lying to try to get his preferred name, but you only answered a direct question that was asked of you. Does your brother generally treat your sister-in-law well, or does he seem to be the type that could be abusive? That would be a possible reason I see for sister-in-law to stop talking to you over this. Opie responds, My brother adores his wife. They're always joking around and doing fun things together, either as a couple or with the kids. This weird sulking knot fight is the most contentious I've ever seen their relationship. Comment 2. Not the asshole. I just asked your parents if there was an Aunt Stephanie you weren't aware of. Don't say why, just ask. OP responds, They said no and seemed both confident in their answer and perplexed by the question. Comment 2. Rip the band-aid off with your parents around. Ask your parents who Aunt Stephanie is with his wife there. It'll put the issue to bed. Names are 2 yes, 1 no. He doesn't like Chloe, she doesn't like Stephanie. Both those names should be off the table. In a sea of tens of thousands of names, I'm sure they can come up with one they can agree on. Opie responds, I already asked my parents after another comment suggested it. They said there's no Stephanie, so I guess my brother lied. I just can't figure out why. It is completely out of character for him. And it's not like he's always been passionate about naming a daughter Stephanie. Before they found out the gender, he never even mentioned a girl name, but he already had a boy name he loved. Then they found out the gender, and he was immediately gung-ho for Stephanie. Commenter 3. Yikes, your brother sounds pretty controlling and manipulative, to be honest. Why does he get to decide all the kids' names? Opie responds, well, to be fair, his wife also liked the name Richard, so that was sort of a mutual pick, even though he suggested it. But she counts it as his pick, and he says they decided mutually. For their second son, he really wanted to name him Jason, and she thought it was a fine name, so she just went with it. But she's way more passionate about Chloe than she was about any of the boy names she suggested when pregnant with Jace. Comment 4. Yeah, not the asshole. Did your brother have a girlfriend named Stephanie that he's still thinking about? Your sister-in-law asked the question, and you answered it. If your brother is still giving you an attitude, I would reiterate that I was asked the question, and I answered it with the information I have. Opie responds, I don't think so. He didn't have a girlfriend in high school and had one major one in college I know of. Her name was Brenda. I know he dated casually after college, but his wife was his only other serious relationship besides Brenda. Comment 5. Your brother is a comics fan, right? Is he by any chance a big Batman fan? That's what I was thinking. Because I'm seeing a kind of pattern with these names. OP responds, yeah, big time. How did you know? Commenter 5. Let's just say if this baby had been a boy, he would have suggested Tim. OP responds, that was the name he wanted if they were having a boy. How did you know that? Commenter 6. These are all the names of former Robins, as in Batman and Richard Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Damian Wayne. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one who picked that up. OP responds, I'm going to confirm this on Wikipedia, but if you're right, and I can't imagine why you would make that up, my brother is about to be in so much trouble. Update 1, same day. Most awkward Christmas Eve dinner ever. Gotta keep this one short, lots going on. Everyone now knows what my brother was doing with the kids' names, except the kids, obviously. They are pissed. Weirdly, my mom is the most pissed. A Christmas truce is in place for the kids, so no fighting on the holiday. However, the baby is definitely going to be named Chloe. My brother very quickly backed down when my mom said some few choice words to him. The topic is completely banned for the rest of festivities. So, for now at least, they've tied a bow on the situation. Comments. Comment 1. OP, we need an update on what sister-in-law says. OP responds, basically, she was really surprised and angry. My brother said he thought it was cute and funny and would have told her once they were done having kids. Mom went off on him and called him a permanent adolescent that she failed to raise to adulthood. This really hurt my brother's feelings, and my dad stepped in and said no fighting during Christmas for the kids. So everyone agreed to table the discussion until after festivities, but my mom said my brother and sister-in-law are naming the baby what sister-in-law wants, because after brother's stunt, he lost the right to have a say. He reluctantly agreed. Turning in now, hopefully there's no, or at least less, tension tomorrow. Update 2, the next day. Christmas morning update. Aside from some glaring over a couple of the boys' stocking stuffers, Robin Funko Pops, everything went well with the gift opening, as well as being woken up at 5:30 a.m. by being jumped on by one's nephew's can. I think my brother realizes he crossed a line and has been very attentive to his wife. He mentioned getting Chloe's name embroidered on some stuff when they got home. He even told Mom he would do the Christmas breakfast so she could have a break, and he gave me an I'm sorry grin when I opened his gift. I think everything is going to be fine. Update 3, 2 days later. My brother tricked his wife into naming their kids after Robins. I told Mikey and his wife that I posted on Reddit. Mikey was confused that I figured out what he was doing because he knows I have no interest in comics. So I sent both of them the post. Mikey was really embarrassed when he read what many of you said. Mikey is playful and loves his kids more than anything. Our family has always been one to tolerate short-term white lies for the sake of harmless pranks. However, Mikey's lie wasn't small, short-term, or harmless. He hurt his wife's feelings deeply. Mikey says, and sister-in-law confirmed, that he was never insistent about naming my oldest nephew Richard. There were other names he suggested, but she liked Richard, so they picked it. Mikey spends a lot of time with Ricky. He often takes him to job sites and lets Ricky pretend to be his assistant. He has this playful thing with Ricky that he's Mikey's sidekick, and they're a team. It's sweet. Here endeth the sweetness. When my sister-in-law was pregnant again, Mikey wanted to replicate the Robin thing. He wanted to name this son after the next Robin, Jason. My sister-in-law wasn't a big fan of that name, but she also didn't have a name she loved. Mikey was very persistent about the name, so she decided it was fine. He never told her why he wanted that name, just said he really liked it. My sister-in-law said to him, and to me as well, she doesn't have a problem with the fact that he got the name from a comic book. She gets what the meaning is to him, even though she doesn't like comics, and she does think it's cute. Her issue is that he lied, by omission. Even though she wouldn't have cared about the name, he lied just in case she might have. And if it had been something she wouldn't have approved of, she would want to have been able to say no. However, even this she would have not been too mad about. The lie of omission became an active lie when he made up a family member to convince her of the name of the next Robin, Stephanie, when there was a girl name she loved, Chloe. That's not a small lie for a cute prank. Even though Mikey was defensive initially, after they had a private conversation this morning, he realized how wrong he was and apologized. My sister-in-law said he was very sincere and Mikey has never been good at faking sincerity. He feels very bad for taking advantage of her trust. He feels even worse that it involved their children. This whole thing has soured my sister-in-law on the name Chloe. Now it only reminds her of the fight and hurt. She wants to come up with a completely new name. Maybe one related to her hobby, like Mallory or Rita. She's going to take some time to not think about it. Their marriage isn't in danger, but a wound is there. Now that Mikey has admitted fault, it can heal, and it will with time. If you learned anything from Mikey, learn that everyone makes mistakes. If someone truly loves you, they can usually forgive you. However, to earn that forgiveness, you have to admit what you did, not double down and try to trick your way out of it. Comments. Comment 1. I hope that they also apologize to you after their behavior to you, since they put you, Mikey in particular, in the crossfire. Opie responds, my sister-in-law was only not talking to me that day because she was upset with my brother and confused about why he would lie. But she didn't want to start something in front of the kids or my parents. So she was trying to just say as little as possible and think about everything. She was never angry with me. My brother did apologize to me. It was a brief, almost offhand apology, but that's okay. Right now, he's focusing on his wife, as he should. I might get a real apology at a later date, or I might not. It isn't really about me. Commenter 2. Yeah, he gets no opinion on names after pulling that bullshit. OP responds, and he has completely accepted that. He told me whenever she tells him about a name she likes, he's going to say, that sounds beautiful, and nothing else unless pressed. I told him that was a wise decision. Comment 3. What's her hobby, and how does it relate to the names Mallory and Rita? OP responds, mountain climbing and hiking are her passion. I think those are last names of guys who broke some climbing record or something. Additional details from OP in the comments. OP responds, he is very embarrassed about that now. Our mom said something to him about how grandma would be very disappointed that he made up a lie like that about her family. He was so close with grandma, and I think he's ashamed now. OP responds, in most areas, he's very selfless. I had to cut out a lot of my original draft of the updates to stay under 3K characters. I wanted to say more about my brother's personality. He is an amazing father and loving husband. When my sister-in-law got invited on a trip she really wanted to do when Ricky was 8 months old, my brother made sure there was nothing to impede her trip. He took care of everything, and she came home to a spotless house. The thing about Mikey is that he is impulsive. On a less charitable day, I might even call him childish. He's also one of those people that rarely sees anything as a big deal. In his mind, this was a cute and harmless prank. Only after our mom and his wife separately explained to him just how messed up it was, did he get it. My sister-in-law told me when we were texting, she had used this example. Imagine you wanted me to try a food, but you weren't 100% sure I would agree, so you didn't tell me what it was. Then I tried it and asked you specifically what it was, and you lied. He was horrified by that scenario, and that's when it started to click. Update 4, 3 days later. OP posts in the r/Batman sub. Every female Batman character. Hi, sorry if you don't do this sort of thing. I tried using Wikipedia, but I got kind of lost in a rabbit hole and it was confusing. Can you find people help me make a list of every single female Batman character, or even male characters with unisex names? Anything Batman related that someone might conceivably name a little girl. I need this list to cross-reference something. Comments. Comment 1. Selena, Harley, Pamela, Talia, Martha, Vicky, Barbara, Kate. OP responds, okay, awesome. Some of those I didn't have written down yet. Thank you. Comment 2. Cassandra, Leslie, Renee, Helena, Zatanna, Julie, Harley, Sophie, Shiva, Bruno, Julie, Jaina, Dula, Cherise, Shauna, Lay, Maggie. There's more as well. This is a site you can use to check likely candidates. That said, there are plenty more, depending on whether you're looking at core characters or you expand out into the DC universe. Remember that there's multiple comic book series that Batman was/is in, and they've been writing them for more than 50 years now. So you've got the usual Batman comics going back all the way to the so-called golden age of Detective Comics forward, including series where Batman was a central character such as Justice League and Justice League America, which is an entirely different series. So you won't necessarily find the name Dinah in the main series, but you will in Justice League. Dinah Drake, Dinah Lance, 2 women who took up the role of Black Canary, for instance. At some point, you may find it easier to research a female name when it's presented to see if it has a connection to Batman than it is to try and keep track of female names which might be connected. Opie responds, wow, I clicked that link and it is so many names. I see your point. Easier to research each name my sister-in-law likes than to try to compile an exhaustive list. Thank you. This was enlightening. Note, no further updates from OP, and so we don't know what baby number 3 was named. The craziest part of this is that if OP used like different names for the children as they should have, no one would have figured this out. Everyone would just be more focused on, why is he making up an Aunt Stephanie? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And not the fact that he was playing the long con of having 5 kids and naming them all after the Robins. And the only reason why I picked up on that is because my YouTube Shorts recently has been showing me a lot of DC stuff. And I don't even like DC. I'm more of a Marvel person. But like yesterday, there was literally a little like info thing of like the Robins explained. And my little like, monkey brain was like, ooh, neuron activate. Oh boy, welcome to the outro. Don't forget, gamer subs. Use code KEYZ to check out. I see a lot of you have actually been partaking in the free samples, so I'm excited to see what y'all think when those actually arrive. Sorry today's episode was a bit later than usual. I laid down around like 10 p.m. and then woke up at 4 a.m. and had to kind of scramble to get the video done. So a 4-hour turnaround time though, that's a new record. Anyways, I'll catch y'all tomorrow.